Warning: this video is a review that contains offensive language and humor not suitable to all audiences. Please watch only at your own discretion. Have you ever read a book before and after finishing it wondered, how in God's name did this thing manage to see the light of day? Well, just like music, books and literature have their own fair share of shit. Today, I'm going to dig into the dark depths of the internet and present to you the fanfiction, My Immortal. Grab some gloves and get your hazmat suits, cause we're diving into a lake of toxic waste right here. Now, before we even get to the actual content, the story has this hideous author's note at the start. Seriously, this thing is atrocious! The spelling here is total garbage! I've seen dyslexic kindergartners that have more of a command of the English language than the asshat who wrote this. Fangs? Gothic? Really? If there's one thing I hate more than stereotypical goths, it's the uneducated kind. She even gives a shout out to her friend here, Raven, or Bloody Tears 666, for helping her with the story and spelling. You mean to tell me you have someone helping you with this, and they didn't check your author's notes? Well, I'd say that the friend did you a major disservice. If they were any kind of real friend, they'd have damned these notes to literary hell. She goes on to mention a guy named Justin and MCR, but I've had enough looking at these notes. Time to move on to the chapter itself. So she opens up the chapter by introducing the main character from a first-person perspective, and oh, what a creative one this is. We have Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way. Holy hell! That's a long-ass name if I've ever seen it! That's one thing that puts me off when reading a fanfiction. People want to create these main characters that have cool or interesting names, yet they end up being super long or unpronounceable. I want a character's name I can actually remember. She could have made it a little easier by combining the last two into Ravenway, but no, they have to be two separate fucking names. Another thing about the name is how many times it references the color black. There's Ebony, which is a shade of black, Darkness, which is what I'd like to throw this into, and Raven, which is a bird with black feathers. For fuck's sake! You'd think Ebony would get the point across, but no, she has to have two more names to show just how dark and depressed this character is. I would be too personally if I had a name like that, and oh, great, more author's notes. In the chapter itself this time. Fucking A. After that piss-poor introduction, we're greeted with lackluster descriptions of what she looks like. This is my biggest problem with any story. It's always a challenge to get across to your audience what your character looks like without being too blatant about it. You have to find the right way to go about instilling that character's image into your reader's head. Here, though, it's a complete 180! Ebony just starts spouting off what she looks like to the reader, from talking about her pale white skin, to her clothing she bought from Hot Topic, even her foundation, her lipstick, her eyeliner. This whole section of the chapter is a gigantic clusterfuck. It's just a paragraph that talks about her appearance and nothing more. Nothing about her getting ready in the morning or looking at herself in the mirror. She's doing nothing. That's something I can't freaking stand. How can you not have any ideas for your character to do something while they talk or explain things? I get that it's a fan fiction and it doesn't have to be perfect, but come on! This is a prime example of lazy writing. It's worse than a sloth taking a shit. Now, I haven't made a mention of it till now, but this story is supposed to be taking place in the Harry Potter universe. Yes, this shit stain is actually a Harry Potter fanfiction. After we tried to learn her name, Ebony mentions that she's a witch-vampire hybrid and attends Hogwarts. I wondered why it even mattered at first, really. So far, there's been no real tie-in to the Harry Potter world, so why does it have to take place at Hogwarts? Without those mentions, the chapter actually makes the story look like its own standalone thing. Well, let me tell you why I point this out now. So Ebony's going around giving the middle fingers some people that walk past and stare at her when she hears Draco shouting to her. Now, automatically, this gets my gag reflex on high alert. The internet is littered with dozens of girls who have written about their character getting with Mr. Studfoy. Let's see where this one goes. She walks away? Yeah! Her nameless friends call to her, and she just fucking walks away! What was the point of interacting with Draco then? Because there wasn't one? This author just seems to enjoy adding things in that provide no actual help to the story. In fact, all that interaction with Draco did was hinder the story by adding fluff to it. I shit you not. After Ebony leaves, the chapter ends right there. I know full well that fanfictions don't have long chapters and can vary at points, but she couldn't have added more to it? She couldn't have figured out a better way to end this miserable pile of shit? She even leaves an author's note at the end, asking if the chapter is any good. I don't know. Do you find raw sewage to be an appetizing 3-course meal? I'm only one chapter in, and this book already has so many things that need to be fixed. The story is uncreative and lazily written. The main character has about as much depth as a kiddie pool. What was going through the author's head when they were writing this? Were they thinking about shit because they had their head so far up their own ass? Those are my thoughts on the first chapter. However, there's quite a long ways to go. This thing is 44 chapters of unadulterated bullshit, and I intend to review each and every one of them. Tune in next time when I review Chapter 2, and give it the back of my hand as well.